I'm going to be very clear about something, even if it makes people uncomfortable. When a man looks at a woman, his perception does not start with morality or polite discourse. It starts with the body. And yes, that includes her chest. Not because of perversion, not because of immaturity, but because the male brain is biologically wired to react to very specific signals. Pretending this doesn't exist is lying to yourself. Women know this very well. What they test is not whether you look. What they test is whether you are comfortable with what you feel without justifying yourself, without apologizing, without submitting. And this is exactly where many men betray themselves. Because the moment you disconnect from your own instincts, the moment you try to sanitize desire, the moment you replace presence with politeness, you lose something essential, not respect, attraction. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most men try to make women desire them through logic, effort, music, and total availability. And that is precisely why it fails. They believe that if they are kind enough, attentive enough, emotionally available enough, women will eventually feel something. They believe that desire is a reward for correct behavior. It is not. Desire does not work like a contract. It does not emerge from explanation. It does not grow because you did everything right. Desire bypasses logic entirely. It goes straight to the nervous system. It is visceral, automatic, music unconscious, and it does not care how good of a man you are on paper. You can be stable, intelligent, emotionally mature, financially secure, music, and still watch a woman slowly lose interest without being able to explain why. Not because you did something wrong, but because you activated the wrong mechanisms. Most men misunderstand where attraction actually lives. They assume attraction is a decision, music, a judgment, a rational evaluation. But attraction happens before judgment, before thought, before language. By the time a woman explains why she feels something or why she doesn't, her body has already decided. And this is where men get trapped. They keep trying to speak to the thinking mind while attraction is being governed somewhere else entirely. Here is a crucial distinction. Respect and desire are not the same thing. You can earn respect through consistency, reliability, and moral alignment. But desire does not respond to those variables in the early stages. Desire responds to tension, to polarity, to contrast. And when those elements are missing, attraction never fully ignites. This is why so many men end up confused. They do everything they were taught to do. They listen. They reassure. They clarify intentions. They remove uncertainty. And in doing so, they remove the very conditions that allow desire to exist. Because desire needs space. It needs ambiguity. It needs the possibility of loss. When everything is known, secure, predictable, and explained, the nervous system relaxes, and relaxed systems do not crave. Let's talk about availability. Availability is often confused with generosity, but psychologically, availability signals something else. When you are always reachable, always ready, always adjusting your schedule, always prioritizing her time over yours, you are not signaling devotion. You are signaling low scarcity, and the human brain, male or female, assigns value based on scarcity. This is not a social construct. This is neurological. What is rare is valuable. What is abundant is taken for granted. When your attention is unlimited, it loses weight, not consciously, subconsciously. Her rational mind may appreciate you. Her body disengages because desire is not appreciation. It is activation. Another uncomfortable truth. Predictability is comforting, but comfort is not arousing, at least not at the beginning. Early attraction feeds on stimulation, not safety. When every interaction with you follows the same emotional rhythm, the nervous system stops responding. You become emotionally flat, not offensive, not unpleasant, just neutral. And neutrality is deadly for attraction. This is where many men misunderstand masculinity. They believe being safe is the goal, but safety without tension is invisible. Masculinity at its core is not aggression or dominance. It is grounded music presence, the ability to stand in your impulses without collapsing into guilt or overcompensation, the ability to feel desire without apologizing for it, the ability to be interested without chasing. This is why that initial point about looking matters so much. When a man notices a woman's body and immediately suppresses himself or floods the interaction with politeness to compensate, he signals internal conflict. Women sense this instantly, not consciously, but somatically. They don't think he looked, they feel he is not at ease with himself. And lack of self-ease is deeply unattractive. Let's move deeper. Attachment dynamics play a major role here. When a man pursues anxiously, seeking reassurance, music, over-explaining intentions, trying to remove all uncertainty, he often activates avoidance in the other person. Even in women who are not naturally avoidant, because desire requires freedom. It requires the ability to move towards something, not be crowded by it. When there is no space, desire suffocates. This is also why neediness is so destructive. Neediness is not about wanting connection. It is about requiring validation. And the moment a woman feels that her presence is necessary for your emotional stability, something shuts down. Not because she is cruel, but because biologically, need signals weakness. A man who needs to be chosen cannot be desired. Desire flows towards strength, not dependence. Music. Another mechanism most men underestimate is social validation. Music. Women are highly sensitive to how a man is positioned socially, not status in the financial sense, but perceived desirability. A man who is wanted, who is engaged in life, who has social gravity, who is comfortable among others, is filtered as higher value automatically. This process is unconscious. It is not jealousy, it is neurological efficiency. If others validate him, he likely has qualities worth noticing. Now contrast this with the man who isolates himself emotionally around one woman who slowly withdraws from his life. His routines, his interests, his world shrinks, and her attraction shrinks with it. Because desire does not grow in small containers. It needs expansion. The solution is not manipulation music. It is alignment. There is a massive difference between pretending to be busy and actually having a life, between delaying replies artificially and responding when you genuinely have time, between acting indifferent and being internally centered. Women detect the difference instantly. Authenticity matters. Not moral authenticity, energetic authenticity. Here is what genuine masculine alignment looks like in practice. You do not abandon your plans to accommodate last-minute changes, not to punish music, but because your time matters. You do not overx because your attention is not surplus. You express interest clearly, music without begging. I'd like to see you again, not tell me when you're free. I'll adjust. You are comfortable with pauses. Silence does not threaten you. You lead interactions rather than interviewing. You can tease lightly without fear. You can disagree without tension. Sometimes you end conversations first, not as a tactic, but because you have somewhere to go. Each of these behaviors communicates the same thing. This man is self-contained, and self-containment is magnetic. Now let's dismantle one last illusion. Many men believe that if they just explain themselves better, attraction will appear. But attraction does not need explanation. It needs embodiment. You cannot talk your way into desire. You can only position yourself in a way that allows it to emerge. Let's summarize this clearly. Desire is not negotiated. It is triggered. It does not respond to moral effort. It responds to psychological signals, scarcity, contrast, presence, self-possession, social gravity. None of this requires manipulation. It requires honesty with yourself first. If you suppress your instincts, you leak insecurity. If you chase validation, you signal need. If you abandon your life for approval, attraction dies. The paradox is simple. The more complete your life is, the less you need desire. And the less you need it, the more likely it appears. If this resonated with you, reflect on it. Not emotionally, strategically. Where have you overexplained? Where have you overinvested? Where have you replaced presence with politeness? That's where the shift begins. And that shift has nothing to do with women.